Today we're going to work on my right rear tail light. It's out. So how do I know it's out? Well, right here on the dash, when I go to start it up, it tells me right rear turn signal's out. Also, if I hit my blinker, see how fast that blinks? That's showing me that one of the tail light bulbs is out. If I blink to the other side, it's a much slower, calmer blink. And yes, I know my tire sensor's out. They're on order. So let's go back and take a look at what we need to do to fix this. Alright, first thing you'll have to do is open your tailgate. And if you take a look at your light, you can tell whether it's an LED or a regular. This is an LED, so it doesn't have any bulbs, at least up here. It's got a bulb down here. What do we need to do to get this out? 2 screws, one right there, one down there, and these are Torx bit. That is that guy right there. And this is a T25 by 4 inch. So let's take them out. Got a little washer on it, weatherproof washer. Now we can see that the tail light has come loose, but it has not come off. Now you get some, I've seen a couple of videos now that say to just pull. Yeah, you got to know the right direction to pull or you break things. This light comes straight back off the card. Don't try to pry it out like this. Don't try to pry it from up here down here. Pull it straight back. Let's see if we can demonstrate. I'm going to set you back here. And we'll try to stay out of the way of the camera. Alright, I'm going to grab the light here and I'm going to push on it right here so you can get it straight off. There we go, straight out. We've got one plug in here, one down here, or this one right here. Let me bring you in for a close-up. Alright, we pulled the light off. Here you can see, hopefully, the 2 slots that these, one right there, one up there, pins fit into. That's why we pull it straight back, because they just slide right off. Alright, now we have two places this light is attached right here. This one is just simply lift up right here, pull the light out, 4 prongs right here. This is your backup lamp down here, and it's a twist. It's got a little arrow on it, shows which way to turn it to lock it. Simply turn it in the opposite direction, slide your bulb out. Works pretty good. This unit, they say, is not serviceable. Okay, now before we go and replace our light setup, which is $200 or more, we're going to check out our wiring and make sure everything's alright. I undid the pigtail. This is the pigtail for the LED light. There's a different one if you have the standard light. This comes out of this socket here. It's fairly easy. It actually goes in this direction. There we go. In order to get it out, you must open this red clip all the way up to the position it's in now, and then use a screwdriver to press a little clip down back here, and it will slide right out. I can even demonstrate that for you in a little bit, but first we're going to show you this. Grounds are always a problem on electrical systems, so I took a look at the back of my plug. I found my only black wire in the plug. I've stuffed my red terminal into that slot. I come to my ohm meter. I set it to read ohms, or resistance of ohms. At the 2K setting, it's now reading 1. I'm going to take the other end of my meter and I'm going to ground it on the bumper. That's a fairly good ground usually. If everything is grounded right, we will see zeros on the ohm meter. That's pretty good ground. If I move it around a little bit, it's going to change, but that's pretty good. That means there's no resistance or between our ground wire and the ground it's on, so we know that's not our issue. Our next step is to actually make sure that we have voltage back here when it's blinking. We can't leave our meter on ohms or it's going to fry it, so we're going to set it to direct current volts. And this is a 20 volt system, so we'll set it over here to the, or it's a 12 volt system, excuse me. So we'll set it to 20, that way it gives us a little free room. And I'll go turn on the blinker. Alright, we went and turned our blinker on, and we're going to check for voltage at the different terminals. This terminal has really intermittent voltage. I'm figuring that is the actual blinker. Alright, so we verified we got good voltage here to this plug. I'm going to put this back together. I'm going to test out these terminals, make sure they're reading the same thing that I'm getting here. Goes together like this. This little notch is what we're pressing down when we're pulling out. So we'll put it all back together, show you what I'm talking about. Alright. That is closed. What did I do with my screwdriver? There it is. First thing I did was I need to open up this red one. Alright. We need to pop it all the way out like that. Alright, we're working with this plug, trying to get it apart. We've opened a little red piece here. You can either reach back here and push down on this little tab back here, or what I found easier now that I've done it the second time is to just reach right in here, slide my little screwdriver right underneath the plastic lip, and pull the plug apart. Better that way. Okay, I plugged the adapter harness back in, and I wanted to make sure I was getting the proper voltage up here, or at least getting a flashing signal. So I just using my test light. Sure enough, there's the blinker signal. So it is making it all the way through the plug. Not my plug problem. It's got to be my light. Let's go to that. Good news. We plugged the light back in, and it's working. That tells me one of a couple of things, and that is the probably was a bad connection in here. And I thought about that because the look of the prongs in here wasn't all that good. So a little dielectric grease and a little tweaking, just a bending so they'd make a little better contact. The light's working. Saved me 240 bucks. Awesome. I guess we should talk about putting the light back in. We want to tuck the wires all in nice and easy to make sure they're out of the way. We want to make sure these two slots, this one here, this one up here, line up right on their associated pegs. Those pegs are right there. Then it simply pushes straight back. Just like we pulled it straight out, we have to push it straight back. Pops in place. Our two screws, Torx head. Done. So why did I go so in depth on this instead of just replacing it when it said my blinker wasn't working up front? Because I slammed my tailgate closed the other day and my blinker worked again for about an hour or so. and then it stopped working again while I was driving it. So that gave me some idea that there's a short somewhere. Now I've adjusted that plug a little bit, bent the tabs a little bit, put a little dilator grease in there, cleaned them up. It's working again. If it stops again, I'm going to look next at where my ground is, and I'll clean that off. But for right now, that saved me a bunch of money.